Welcome everyone to the ordinary council meeting for January 2026. Councils undertook an oath or affirmation at the beginning of their term of office and declared to undertake the duties of the office of council in the best interests of the people of the Broken Hill local government area and the city of Broken Hill, and that they will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, discretions vested in them under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of their ability and judgment. This council meeting is being live streamed via YouTube and recorded and published via council's website. To those present in the gallery today, by attending or participating in the public meeting, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. The Mayor and/or General Manager have the authority to pause or terminate the stream if comments or debate are considered defamatory or otherwise inappropriate for publishing. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if they engage in unlawful behaviour or commentary. We've received nil leave of absence and everyone's here. I call on Councillor Boland to do the prayer.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Almighty God, we ask you to invoke your blessing upon this council, direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement and the true welfare of the people of the council area, our state and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Boland. Councillor Edgecombe?
Would you like me to stand, Mr. Mayor, or?
It's up to you.
Okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today, the land of the Willakali people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging.
Thank you. Councillor Allgate?
We take time to reflect, remember and honour the over 800 miners that lost their lives and those that were crippled or maimed on the line of load. Thank the brave miners and their wives who were part of the 1919-1920 strike that lasted over 500 days and delivered a 35-hour working week. Mining is our past and our future.
Thank you, Councillor Allgate. Minutes for confirmation that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council of the city of Broken Hill held on 18th of December 2025 be confirmed. Do we have a move for that? Move Councillor Jewett, seconded Councillor Gillett. Any comments on the minutes? All those in favour? Declared carried unanimously. We have disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosures of interest by councillors that they'd like to declare? We have nil. We have a mayoral minute. Mayoral minute, item number 1, that the mayoral minute number 1/26 dated January 23, 26 be received. The council write to the New South Wales Premier and local member calling for a parliamentary inquiry for potential negative effects from the new gun law reforms and the impacts on the regional people and communities. We have a second for that. Second, Councillor Page. I've already been contacted by a number of local gun owners as well as member organisations. They're very concerned that some of the new requirements will heavily impact their operations, particularly that every shooter must be a member of a hunting or shooting range. This will impact them as there'll be many more hundreds of people join. When you have many people that have more marshals on the at the stadiums themselves, which means that they'll need the need for more volunteers. There's also concerns that it will impact some of the collectors that have dozens of guns. Those guns, whether they're bought back or not, will impact them greatly, particularly if it moves from having to dismantle those guns or make them inoperable, which reduces the cost of those firearms. So the laws that were brought in were hastily brought in without any consideration, brought in by people that do not understand firearms in general. And the best way to address this, if there is a parliamentary inquiry, they'll hear from shooters themselves, rifle ranges, gun owners, as well as gun stores. And then you'll have a full understanding. The government, if they still wish to bring in laws, at least those laws will be based on fact. We need to also understand that the shooters that were in Sydney were Pakistan citizens, not Australian citizens. One of those Pakistanis actually was a member of ISIS And for me, to take guns off of law-abiding Broken Hill people because of something that happens in Sydney is disgraceful. And to do that without understanding the impact that it would have on regional New South Wales is even more disgusting. So if they have an inquiry, at least they'll understand it and hear the point of views of the people that actually law-abiding firearm users that use rifles or other firearms in the region. We have any other speakers? Councillor Page.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I agree with every comment you made. The problems in this country can't be solved by introducing this gun law. The damage has already been done to this nation in not just the gun laws. There's a lot of problems in this country that haven't been dealt with, and it's due to politicians playing politics over and above looking after the people. So these gun changes will not make virtually any difference at all. It's time they've done their job and try to fix the damage that's already been done, mate. And I could talk for an hour on the problems that this country has, and it's bloody shameful. I've been around the traps for 6 years now, and we were always a proud nation. At the moment, we're a broken nation. We're a nation of people are not working with each other. The hatred that some of these people that have been killing each other for 4,000 years, they've brought it to Australia, and it's got to be dealt with. And the only way it can be dealt with is through our politicians having the courage to fix the problem. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Page. Councillor Allgate.
Stand up. One of the questions that's been asked of me is, or one of the concerns, Mr. Mayor, is the fact that a lot of people who have guns kept in the proper way in their steel cabinets and all the rest of it, whether or not they'll get fair value for their guns. Some people have paid $7,000 and $8,000 for certain rifles, and you know, it's been quoted that it's going to cost New South Wales 15, or I'm not sure it's New South Wales or the lot, $15 billion, probably the whole country. But, you know, are they going to get full value for their guns that have to be handed in? The second thing is that when you lead to the people that had the guns, Pakistanis, one of which was on the watch list, and it took 2 or 3 attempts apparently to get the gun license. One has to wonder that the more effective way of approaching it would be to make sure that the people that service the gun licenses are held accountable for the people they're given the gun licenses to. If you give gun licenses to people that are on the watch list already, surely the gun the people that manage the licensing, surely they're in well aware of the fact that that particular person applied for a gun license a couple of times, and it was about 3 or 4 years apparently before they actually got it. The responsibility ought to be held somewhere, and it should be with the people issuing the licenses. We're not checking properly.
Any other speakers? Good point, Councillor Allgate. So I think it's probably not the people that issued the licence, because the people that issue the licenses, if you are even, you have an AVO, which is not a criminal offence, or someone in your household's put on the AVO, your guns are taken off of you. What I would suggest has happened is the federal government hasn't told the licensing agencies that these people are actually on a terrorist watch list and don't give them guns. So I think you'll find it's probably a breakdown in communication between our federal police and those that own firearms. And instead of addressing that and letting the community know and understand that we have competent people in charge, what they do is, to cover for themselves, they introduce hate laws and take our guns off of us. So that's what we get because of their incompetence. We have 15 people that died, but we get punished again by having hate laws introduced and guns taken off of us because our federal government is incompetent. Thank you, Councillor Allgate. Thanks, mate. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. I just am going to move a second Merrill minute, a verbal Merrill minute, that we send correspondence to Roy Butler and Greyhound Racing New South Wales, requesting what can be done by the Broken Hill community and the Broken Hill Greyhound Racing to reverse their decision in closing our local greyhound racing track or the meetings there. Seconder for that?
Second,
Seconded, councillor Hickey. Look, without a doubt, our greyhound racing industry is one that has grown exponentially over the past couple of years. It's an organisation that was set to continue to grow. TAB New South Wales was trying to get them to turn to a 52-week facility. They couldn't do that simply because they wouldn't put their animals out in this heat. So not only was it growing, they're also responsible racers because they were making sure that the animals are safe first, even though they could potentially increase revenue for the facility itself. And we still don't know what can be done about keeping that open. It's fine for them to say that they're not financially viable. Well, we need Greyhounds Racing New South Wales to tell us what can be done to make Greyhound Broken Hill viable. If that's done, I'm sure as a community, I'm sure as a council, and I'm sure as the greyhound racing itself, we'll do all we can to meet what's required to ensure that it meets the requirements to keep that facility viable. Councillor Hickey.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. Broken Hill is viable. The greyhounds here, they've got quite a bit of money in the bank, totally viable, but it was Deloitte who say there's too many tracks, and because the government just wanted to get rid of Broken Hill, get rid of this one, plus a lot of others, and that's why they brought it in. It was not our viability in Broken Hill, and that's what we got to fight on. They had 37 TAB meetings last year, all very successful and very successful for the TAB. So, you know, like, it's just a ploy to get rid of it. Thank you.
Not good enough. Councillor Turley.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. And I wonder, Mr. Mayor, if you would consider making a delegation to the minister. We have written to various people in the past when this first arose, and I just feel that it would be stronger if we had a delegation bang on the door and remind the minister that the sport of greyhounds in the far west is very active, it's very strong. It is incredible. Their animal husbandry is incredibly strong and the support they have. But a letter at this stage, I worry that we could make it stronger and include a delegation.
Happy to support that, Councillor Turley. But I will add to that Merrill minute that perhaps we should invite the minister out here to actually have a look at the facility itself. So instead of us going over there, perhaps we could get the minister to come to Broken Hill so he can actually see a race meeting at the Greyhounds, why it is taking place, while it's taking place, so that he fully understands just how vibrant an organisation it is. And if we can get him out here, I'm sure that we can make sure that the race meeting that he does attend is the most frequented meeting that the Greyhounds would have in many years. So if the seconder would be happy for that to be added. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Notice of motion, nil. Notice of rescission motion, nil. Reports from delegates, nil. Committee meetings, nil. Further reports. Item number 1 is the naming of the submarine in the new Navy fleet. Correspondence returned. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Gillett, second Councillor Allgate. Councillor Gillett, would you like to speak to that? Councillor Allgate.
Only to say that it looks like we've done all we can do, and it's left to the with the Sea Power Centre Australia to make the decision. We've approached all of the relevant ministers, and I'm not sure that we can do much else personally.
No, but I do note in that correspondence, they do acknowledge the wealth of history that Broken Hill has, not just with mining and heritage, but also we do have a Navy presence that has come out of Broken Hill. So I think that we will, as it gets closer, I think that we will be considered, and the first step was to send that correspondence. So that was, all those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 2 is advocacy for ongoing funding for support for Australian Literacy and Numeracy Foundation for the Monday Far West Choir. Do we have a mover for that?
Move that way.
Move councillor Boland, seconded councillor Aldgate. Councillor Boland?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Ken. I might be a bit tall for this new system. How's that? This is nothing but, I was reading through the correspondence. It seems to be a bit of penny pinching and buck passing, pardon the pun. That it's not a school-based initiative, and there's so many more programs available for students at the Far West. Well, there is programs available, but not as many as they have in Sydney. And again, the Far West children miss out, and this is an important program. Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked for the support of council, and any program that means kids are engaged and they're learning is a good program, and it's worthy to be funded regardless if it's school-based or not. So to me, it's more penny pinching from Sydney. They seem to be a bit tight on budgets. They're spending billions of dollars on marble arches for metro stations, but can't find a few cents in the bottom drawer to support the kids of the Far West.
Thank you, councillor Boland. Any other speakers? We did meet with the organiser, so the organiser will be also contacting local organisations to try and raise sponsorship. In one of the correspondence, there is an opportunity for a grant that comes out that could potentially be accessed by that group. So there's still an opportunity, and we'll continue to help that group and hope that something happens. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 3, in principle support for the Rural Health Action Plan. Do we have a mover for that?
Move the recommendations.
Move councillor Aldgate, seconded. Councillor Boland. Councillor Aldgate?
All of the recommendations cover the city's needs, and I don't see that there's much to be added to it. Health, 24 hours a day, health service, or health medical assistance and dental assistance and all the other aspects should be available, and whatever we can do to support anybody else that's complaining about it or wants our support, we should be helping where we can. It's a Australia-wide problem, and we should be on board.
Thank you, councillor Aldgate. Any other speakers? Yeah, look, as council, we've initiated a whole of Broken Hill health survey or initiative with all the major players in it, and this is just one of the steps that are involved. So I think it's something that we should support wholeheartedly. A council delegate to that committee. Anyone want to volunteer to be a council delegate to that committee? I will then. If no one has a problem. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 4 is adoption of the draft hire fees for meeting rooms at the new library. We have a mover for that.
Move that way.
Move councillor Boland, seconded councillor Gillett. Councillor Boland?
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Very sensible proposed room hire fees. I'm just going through them. They're reasonable, and I just want to bring attention to the community rates, which is everyone's favourite colour, free. So it's great that community groups are being looked after in our new library. That will be an absolute asset to the community and community groups alike.
Thank you, councillor Boland. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 5 is adoption of the user hire fees for the Picton Sports Ground. We have a move for that.
Move the recommendations.
Move councillor Aldgate, seconded councillor Page. Councillor Aldgate?
The fees and charges have been on public display, and there's been no input from the public. The council, when it met to discuss this at the last meeting, we found them acceptable, and I think supporting the motions is the way to go.
Councillor Page, you'd like to comment? No. Thank you, Councillor Page. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 6 is, sorry. Draft Agency Information Guide on page 49. You have a mover for that? Move Councillor Hickey, seconded Councillor Boland, Deputy Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor Kennedy. I can't stand it.
You don't have to stand.
For the next 2 years, that is. Yeah, look, that all reads pretty good. Went through that home today, and it's a pretty good guide right through. Well done.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 7 is the draft vehicle use policy on page 76. Do we have a mover for that? Move Councillor Allgate, seconded Councillor Hickey. Councillor Allgate?
Nothing.
Councillor Hickey. Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 8 is the Imperial Lakes Nature Park rezoning of land and associated amendment to the local environmental plan on page 89. Do we have a mover for that? Move Deputy Mayor Hickey, seconded Councillor Allgate, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just reading through that, and it's a good move, and I think it has to be done anyway. But I was very, very disappointed in the chair of Landcare criticising council on the radio and saying it was our fault when it hasn't. And they had actually decided to take it out of council's hands and get their own people to go through and do it. It took them 2 years and it got nowhere. And then they've come back to council, but then want to blame council. And I was very disappointed in that, but I'll let go through with it.
Okay, would you like to, you wouldn't want to add to that? You're happy with that? Any other speakers? Look, it's an important step as it stands now, because it is still classified as a reservoir. They actually cannot do any or have any development applications approved through council. So hopefully this does work. It's not an easy step because it is a major change to the land and environment plan or our local environment plan. But it could happen. Even if it doesn't happen, council will incorporate it in our newly formed environment plan, that local environment plan that will be done in early 27 or mid 27. But hopefully the minister does understand the importance and the urgency of this, particularly when you look at what's happened with the water becoming critical out there, and they spent $60,000 for about 50 centimetres of water across that lake. That's not a lot of water. Everyone knows that in this heat, we're probably getting close to already have lost that $60,000 that was invested in that extra water. The other thing that needs to be done, that needs to be looked at the back of the lake and how the creek is going. I have spoken to a few people. It hasn't been diverted. There's cul-de-sacs and pipes put in there that's meant to allow that water to run through. So something's happening at the back of the creek that's stopping a lot of our runoff that goes past the Jubilee Oval going into the Imperial Lake. We need to address that as soon as possible. If you think about 50 centimetres of water over that small area that they're talking about, when we get 20 or 30 mil of rain in Broken Hill and it runs down past the Jubilee Oval, which just about always results in filling that lake, it's actually worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in water. So you'd never be able to buy the water to do that. So we need to look at why that water is not getting to where it should be as it has in the past. As a young person, I was out there every single day, even after the lakes was closed. And if it rained in Broken Hill, the lakes would fill up to the roadways and spill over into the regeneration area. So that's not happening anymore. And it's because that creek is not, for some reason, that water's not making it into the Imperial Lake. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 9 is investment report for December on page 94. Do we have a mover for that?
way.
Move Councillor Boland, seconded Councillor Jewett, Councillor Boland.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Overall, good report, always spot on, with the council staff and making sure it's well diversified. If you have a mortgage, like a lot of us do, probably not good news today with inflation at 3.4%. So good to have money locked into term deposits, which council does. So it's good news there. But yeah, inflation's nearly 1% above the Reserve Bank's target. So it's probably only a matter of how much they raise rates next Tuesday, unfortunately.
Did you say we should have invested in silver?
Silver's good, or being a Forex trader on the Australian dollar, hedged against the US would have been a good money spinner today as well.
Any other speakers? All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 10, section 355, Broken Hill City Art Gallery Advisory Committee minutes of meeting, on page 111.
Move the recommendation.
Moved councillor Allgate, seconded councillor Gillett. Councillor Allgate?
I agree with all the recommendations that are made, in particular, the final one where Pro Hart's going to be commemorated on on the 20th year of his passing. I'd like to see included that that there should be a section set aside for permanent Pro Hart displays. I've been saying this for years and I've never got anywhere, but I'll say it again. Most people come to Broken Hill to see local artwork, and we have a habit for some reason of showing all of the so-called better artworks from other artists, and people are often concerned and or surprised that we don't show the Brushman of the Bush, Pro Hart in particular, and often disappointed when they leave the art gallery. I'm not suggesting that the other artwork is not good. There's some wonderful artworks, but too few of Pro Hart's paintings and the Brushman of the Bush have been on display on a permanent basis, as far as I'm concerned. If a small area could be set aside to rotate Pro Hart and the Brushman of the Bush, I think it'd be a big improvement all round.
Would you like to just add to that, ask that to be put on as an agenda item at the next Art Gallery Advisory Committee meeting?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor.
Rather than one of the council members bringing that up, is to make it an official agenda item for the next Art Gallery Advisory Committee.
Yes, if you will.
The seconder happy to accept that. Any other speakers on that?
Mr. Mayor Kennedy, I would imagine I 100% agree with Councillor Allgate with the Pro Hart and Brushman the Bush section at the Broken Hill Art Gallery. I think that would be an amazing tourist attraction. So many people come to Broken Hill, and the first place they go is the Pro Hart Gallery, which is, we definitely still want them to go up there, but we also want them to experience our amazing city art gallery as well. And that would just get more people through the door. I think Pro Hart is the regular person, the common man, common person's artist. I think he was his whole life, and he was very proud of that as well. And I think it'll be a great attraction, not just for locals, but tourists alike.
Councillor Jewett?
Really, and I agree as well. I think just to add to that too, as far as the mural on the outside for a building of its heritage and beauty, I think that really should be on the inside.
Thank you, Councillor Jewett. There's some items in the minutes that people may be interested in. The General Manager has confirmed that there is, council is looking into just temporary Bluetooth speakers. They won't be expensive speakers, but just a system that allows for the voice of some people to carry to the back areas of the art gallery. I don't think it's our speaker system itself. I think it's probably some of the speakers. As was stated at the meeting, no one had any problem hearing me speak, but some of the other speakers it didn't carry. So that may be the way that the microphone's being used, but if we do boost that speaker system, at least some of the people up the back will be able to hear. The other thing is Essential Water, and I did speak to the manager, Ross Berry, who said he was very interested in having the water tanks around the community painted in a similar fashion to how wheat silos are painted. What was mentioned at the Art Gallery Advisory Committee is it is 20 years since Pro Hart's death this year, or the anniversary of his death. So there will be celebrations or different art. Yeah, 20 years marks 20 years. So there could be an opportunity if we get the community involved to start off with a painting of one of those tanks in a theme that would actually honour Pro Hart and last for many years. What was requested in there was a council do consider the cost of the paint. They said artists. I think the community would probably invest in the artists, but that's one that could potentially, if a group is formed, to carry that out, that they can go through our community assistance grants and potentially have the paint paid for. But we need to get on to that pretty quick. We will send correspondence, not through this, but we'll send correspondence to Central Energy to just get more water, to get some more detail on what the requirements would be. The other thing that was brought in there, and that's probably not written very well, alcohol at the art gallery events. The gallery reaffirms its responsible full service of alcohol policy. What was passed is that alcohol will continue to be provided at exhibitions and at the art gallery after dark events that they have. That was passed unanimously by, I think there was 12 or 13 people. So everyone was at the advisory committee except for one absentee. So it was passed unanimously because they believed, and this was brought up because with the speaking last time about the one alcohol beverage for councillors went away. One person commented, why is council providing alcohol at a facility such as the art gallery? So that was put to the art gallery advisory committee, who voted overwhelmingly, in fact unanimously, that they believe that if they did not provide alcohol at exhibitions, the numbers would dwindle dramatically and people would leave much sooner. So just for everyone here, so they understand that what was brought up about alcohol in this room does not go across the whole of the community. In fact, the art gallery committee, who some of those people or associates, those people made comments about councillors and alcohol, voted unanimously to continue to have alcohol at our regional art gallery or our local art gallery. All those in favour? Carried unanimously.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, can I say one thing? I don't know if this is an appropriate time. There's no report from Memorial Oval Committee in this month's business paper. But I would just like to see how we can express our condolences to the passing of Chris May, who was an active community representative on the Memorial Oval Committee.
So what we'll do is when we get to questions without notice, if you'd like to move, or questions for the next meeting, if you at that time would like to move a matter of urgency, you can actually move a motion to say that we pass on our condol, or whatever you'd like to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item number 11 is the minutes of the Picton Oval meeting held on the 8th of December 2025 on page 116. Do we have a mover for that? Moved Councillor Page, seconded Councillor Allgate. Councillor Page? No. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 12 is the action list on page 120. Do we have a mover for that?
Move the action list.
Moved Councillor Allgate, seconded Councillor Jewett. Councillor Allgate?
Nothing to offer.
No. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Item number 14 is questions on notice. Councillors' questions on notice taken at the December 2025 council meeting on page 147. Do we have a mover for those? Next item, Councillor. Councillor Boland?
Move that way.
Councillor Allgate, Councillor Boland,
No comment or all written there.
all those in favour? Carried unanimously. Questions for the next meeting arising from items on the agenda. Councillor Edgecombe, you'd like to move a notice of urgency?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I would like to express our condolences to the family and friends of Chris May, who was an active community representative on the Memorial Oval Committee. He was a dedicated member for the committee, so I'd like to express that. Thank you.
Moving that as a matter of urgency. Yep. Seconder for that, Councillor Jewett. All those in favour, carried unanimously. Item number 16 is confidential matters. We only have one item, so it shouldn't take too long. Do we have a motion to move into closed session? Move Councillor Gillett, seconded Councillor Allgate. All those in favour, carried unanimously. Yeah. The general manager will now report on the resolutions of the council made in closed session. Thank you, General Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Council resolved in confidential proposed lease of part lot 139 Patton Street. Council resolved 1, that Broken Hill City Council Report number 13/26 dated January 22, 2026 be received. 2, that council approved the granting of a 12-month license to part lot 139 Patton Street to the Explorers EL Proprietary Limited for the establishment of a preschool with the view to obtaining ministerial consent for a longer term lease. 3, that the Mayor and General Manager be authorised to sign and execute the licence documents under the common seal of council. Thank you, Mayor Kennedy.
Thank you, General Manager. As there is no further business for council to consider, I declare the ordinary council meeting closed at